Hello and welcome. I'm Gitanjali and you're watching India's finest workplaces. In a world where technology drives every facet of our lives, have you ever wondered what powers the innovation behind it all? What transforms ambitious ideas into groundbreaking realities? Today we unveil an organization that is leading this very revolution. A company that has reimagined digital transformation on a global scale. We are proud to present Persistent Systems. Persistent Systems Limited, founded in 1990 and headquartered in India, has evolved into a global leader in digital engineering spanning over 21 countries. With a comprehensive suite of offerings infused with AI, including digital strategy, software product engineering, cloud and infrastructure services, and enterprise IT security. Persistent empowers businesses to thrive in a tech-driven world. The company's deep expertise serves industries such as BFSI, healthcare and life sciences, and technology, enabling organizations to accelerate innovation through transformative solutions like hybrid and multi-cloud, CX transformation, and intelligent automation. Through strategic collaborations with tech titans like Microsoft, AWS, Salesforce, IBM, and Google Cloud, the company delivers high-impact solutions tailored to the unique needs of clients. With its legacy of over 30 years, Persistent continues to shape the digital future, empowering global enterprises to navigate complexity and unlock new avenues of success. We are now joined by Mr. Sandeep Kalra, who is the CEO and Executive Director of Persistent Systems. Welcome to the show, Mr. Kalra.
Thank you for having me.
So, in an increasingly competitive tech landscape, what do you see as Persistent Systems' key differentiators? And how do you ensure the company continues to innovate and sustain its competitive edge?
So Persistent Systems was started in the year 1990 by our founder, Chairman Anand Deshpande. He is a PhD in databases, and the company started doing product development for organizations such as Microsoft, Agilent, and the likes. The company also diversified in the areas of data and AI as we moved along. And we have since built significant capabilities and are very well known for our ecosystem play, whether it is the cloud providers like Microsoft, AWS, or Google, and the technology companies like IBM or Salesforce. So over the years, we have built differentiated capabilities in the areas of product engineering, data and AI, and cloud. If you look at the various analyst ratings, whether it is Gartner with their Magic Quadrant on public cloud IT transformation services, whether it is capabilities on our next generation talent in data and AI, and so on, we are very well recognized by leading analysts like Gartner, HFS, Zinnov, and others. If you look at the last 5 years, we have continued to build our capabilities through both organic and inorganic investments in acquiring capabilities that are leading edge next generation. Our focus on our customers is what differentiates us. Our ability, being a small company, our nimbleness to compete with the biggest firms in the world in terms of our capabilities and business models is another thing that differentiates us.
Right, so we've seen how Persistent Systems has experienced remarkable growth in the past few years. So what key strategies or turning points have driven this success?
So we built in the last 5 years on the basic foundation of product engineering and data and AI as we went along. So if you look at the product engineering side of it, the fact that we have worked with the likes of Microsoft, AWS, and Google in helping them build their products and many other leading firms is what makes us shine against our competition when it comes to even the enterprises adopting the product engineering mindset in their own application landscape. And that's one of the areas, building a world-class team, building the capabilities from a talent perspective, investing in our Persistent University. All of these things have helped us put together all these capabilities towards the service of making our customers more competitive. And I'm very proud to say in the last 5 years, we have outpaced our competition, delivering 24% cumulative annual growth rate over these years.
So as the tech landscape evolves, what mindset or skills do you believe professionals need to adopt to thrive in their roles and to stay relevant to changing market needs?
So here, if you look at it, there are two distinct audiences we are talking about. We're talking about professionals who have been in the software engineering landscape or IT services landscape for long. So for those professionals, they need to make sure that they embrace the newer technologies as they come in. They need to make sure that they're continuously learning and are ahead of the curve. Otherwise, they will not necessarily remain relevant in their jobs. On the other side, there is the newer set of engineering folks who are coming in, the next generation, if I may say so. For them, it is about being hungry, having the curiosity to learn, putting it in terms of their best effort, because these are their foundational years. They may have the exposure to the latest technology, but they need to apply it themselves, build a strong foundation for a skyscraper for their own career to come at time.
So with such a strong focus on growth and transformation, you have already crossed the $1 billion revenue milestone. What do you think the future looks like for Persistent Systems?
So at Persistent, if you look at our history, we have delivered 17 sequential quarters of growth, backed by impeccable capabilities, impeccable set of customers, and delivering good value to our customers. If we look forward, our aspiration is to deliver $2 billion as a revenue milestone for ourselves as a team by FY27. Towards that, we are building on our capabilities. We have invested in our capabilities like AI for tech, where we are delivering platforms like SASVA, delivering product engineering on that. Similarly, we have invested in AI for enterprise, which is basically our foray into the CIO side of the house, using AI to make them bigger, better, etc. And all of this should work towards our aspiration of the $2 billion over the next 3 years.
Right. So with this, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
To know more about this AI-led approach, we are now joined by Dhanashri Bhatt, COO Persistent, to talk about how Gen AI is shaping the future of work, along with discussing Persistent's relentless focus on its ESG goals and 4E framework that drives DEIB initiatives.
At Persistent, we have been able to build a very strong product engineering DNA based on the 34 years of our existence, where we've been working with some of the leading software companies and global innovators. Through our culture of innovation, our engineers have been able to work on cutting-edge technology, have been able to hands-on participate in hackathons, and therefore not only deliver the best to our customers, but make a positive, meaningful impact on the world at large. For example, we've been working with one of India's largest banks and have been able to implement a digital transformation system for them, which now helps them disburse loans in not days, but in 3 minutes. Persistent is known to always stay ahead of the technology curve. As a company, as we pivot towards AI-led platform-driven services, enabling our engineers from a technology perspective becomes extremely important. This is something that we are pivoting the organization towards with the great learning and development center that we have at Persistent. Our award-winning Persistent University is at the core of this effort, where we build various learning and development programs that enable our complete workforce to get themselves trained. We are equally committed to building a diverse and inclusive workforce. And for that, we have a very grounded approach of 4 E's: enable, empower, engage, and employ. This approach dovetails into our policies and actions, helping us build an equitable and inclusive workspace in all aspects. While we work to create a great environment for our people, we are also thinking about our responsibility to the world at large. To that regard, we are proud to state that we've been able to achieve carbon neutrality for Scope 1 and Scope 2 whole 1 year ahead of our schedule. This milestone underscores our deep commitment to sustainability practices. With this, we are fostering a value-driven and people-centric environment, helping our employees not only to excel professionally, but also personally.
With that, it's time for us to head into a short break. We'll be back soon.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching India's finest workplaces. A great workplace is a dynamic environment where an individual not only excels in their roles, but also flourish personally and contribute to a greater purpose. Persistent Systems exemplifies this ideal standing out as one of India's finest workplaces. To delve deeper into their remarkable work culture, we have the pleasure of welcoming Yogesh Padgaonkar, Chief People Officer at Persistent. Hello Yogesh, welcome to the show.
Nice to be here.
So let me start with the most pertinent question. How does Persistent Systems ensure a people-first culture across its global workforce? And what are the key elements that make this approach so successful?
So Gitanjali, that vision level, the vision is making Persistent a phenomenal place to build life. And we are saying build life, not career. And that's the difference. Because people are at the center of our universe. So everything that we do ensures that people are involved, they participate, and it's by the people, for the people. Now, I'll give you a very simple example. When we achieved this phenomenal benchmark of crossing a $1 billion revenue, we decided to gift the people. That's the norm. And the easiest thing for us to do was just to decide a gift and ship it across. But we realized, if this gift is for people, as per our philosophy, it has to be decided by them. So I actually rolled out a survey for globally. Okay, as the surprise, 9,500 of our colleagues chose bicycle as a gift. Okay, and believe me, we did ship 9,500 bicycles across the world to the people because it was a decision by the people, for the people. I'm just giving you this very small example to say that anything that is done, including the facility in which we are sitting right now, these are all named by people voting it. So it's about keeping people at the center of it. And anything that you do for people, we just apply 4 criteria. Is it passing the criteria of simplicity, transparency, accountability, and does it show care?
We can see how employee well-being is a priority at Persistent Systems. So could you highlight the whole life at Persistent philosophy across the organization?
So life at Persistent are 2 parts to it. One is a professional, because to my mind, the engagement, the highest level of engagement is with your career, with the meaningful work. And thankfully, the kind of cutting-edge technology work that we do, that itself is the biggest engaging, and that's why people have done careers. And today, we have multiple people who have done more than 10 years, 15 years, 25 years with us. So that is one part of well-being, because your career is taken care of. Second, we actually have a team which is dedicated called Life at Persistent. And now this team is responsible for social, emotional, financial well-being of people.
If someone asks me, what does Persistent really mean when it says people first? Well, I put it very simply, Persistent cares for its people. When we are here, we are more of humans and less of resources. Of course, we are here to do our jobs, we are supposed to perform. What is important is while we discharge our daily duties, we know our sincerity, hard work is not just being noticed, but we are fully confident it's going to get rewarded sometime.
The Persistent way, as they call it, also ensured that Persistent Systems not only achieved 1 but 3 Guinness World Record titles. So what was this achievement all about?
That is an interesting story. So when, as I told you, we delivered these 9,500 bicycles, first and foremost is that it was a pleasant surprise for us that people chose a healthy gift option over some of the other options, okay? And in our own excitement, we said, oh, it must be a record of sort. And I approached the Guinness World Record and asked them, so can we call it a Guinness World Record? So they laughed at my naivety and they said, no, that's not how the records are done. So you have to really give guidance on what record you want to do futuristically, give a date, and then create those records. So he said, okay. So he said, when do you want to do it? And how many records do you want to do it? So we decided we'll do the records around the healthy lifestyle. And anyway, we chose cycling as a theme because of these cycles. And we created 3 new records, which we gave them the intent that this is what we do. We'll create the largest logo of our bicycles. We will have a largest kind of a online video album, which will happen. And the third is that we will have a cycling awareness, which will be attended by the maximum number of people. And all these records, they said, yes, there are new records. You can go ahead with it. More than the 3 records, I'm happy to say that we achieved all the 3 records. They were declared on 14th of October as 3 new records done by Persistent. More than the 3 records, what makes me happier is across the world, 11,000 of my colleagues participated in one or the other activity to ensure that we do these records on time. And so the way the records were created, the involvement of the people, to my mind, that's a testimony of what we keep talking about. People are involved in everything that we do, and people are the center of our universe.
Right. So with this, thank you so much for joining us today, Yogesh. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
Now let's turn our focus to one of the most vital components of persistence success. It's talent. In the competitive landscape of IT services, attracting and nurturing the right talent is essential. I'm excited to speak with Varun Gautam, Head of Talent Acquisition and Talent Management, about how Persistent builds and cultivates a strong workforce to drive growth forward. Hello Varun, it's good to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me here.
So, Varun, what is the current talent landscape at Persistent, and how is the organization adapting?
So, IT services as a business has been very, very dynamic. Last 10 years or last one decade, what we have seen is very different from last 30 years. And the skill sets, what are required is constantly changing. Customer expectations are becoming more and more higher. And we don't have an option but to adapt to it. And adapting to it does lead to variety of initiatives what have to be driven across the organization. There are high demand for AI ML, AI-led data, core engineering kind of skills, and that's the landscape what we deal in, deal out every day. With a larger talent pool size of 23,000 people, this is a ongoing job for us.
So how does Persistent enhance candidate experience to attract top talent?
We being in IT services, the most critical element of all our offerings is our employees. And these employees became employee today, but they were candidates one day, right? And it doesn't matter whether they were entry level, they are mid, or they are maybe senior level candidates. So candidate experience is nothing less than customer experience for us. It's a center of our any kind of people strategy. And we do have a lot of focus on that in giving transparent, very, very comfortable, very informative experience to every candidate we interact with. We definitely want them to walk away with a pride and an experience that they should be able to share it with their peers about interviewing with Persistent. And for all of them, most of them, which ends up in getting employed with Persistent, it is a delightful experience which we really want them to carry forward as they continue the Persistent journey. So to do that, we ensure that there are constant structured communication right from the people who interface, which is the recruiting and talent team, to the hiring managers.
A great thing we do here at Persistent is that we emphasize on a people-first approach throughout our talent strategy. We prioritize understanding the experience of all our stakeholders, especially the candidates that we speak with, that we communicate with. And one of the notable things we do is we conduct a lot of comprehensive surveys that help us bridge gaps that may be existing in any of our processes.
So what initiatives promote continuous learning and keep employees future ready?
So as I said, right, we are in people business. So without constant learning and constant learning programs, we cannot scale up. With that philosophy, there is a lot of focus, tremendous focus on learning. We internally call it Persistent University. We have a flagship program which is called PDEA, Persistent Development Engineering Academy. So the moment anyone who comes on board with us is put to a PDEA framework. PDEA framework defines the learning journey for every resource in the company. It is further enabled and boosted by a lot of artificial intelligence.
As a part of talent management function at Persistent, we believe that our people are our biggest assets. As a resource manager, I'm connected with the personal and professional growth of our employees. To ensure that our talent is ready for the future opportunities, we focus on engaging them in continuous learning and development, which empowers them to upskill and reskill themselves.
Persistent is a great place not just to work, to build a life. This is coming from my own experience. I've been part of the organization for around 7 years. And one thing about Persistent that has been common is its people-centric culture, which enables every employee with a lot of opportunities, whether it's to learn, whether it's to grow, whether it's your wellness. Overall, your personal and professional growth is well taken care of. It's a great company to work with, and I am happy with my experience.
So, what message do you have for job seekers about thriving and building a career at Persistent?
At Persistent, our values are ingenious, confident, persistent, and responsible. We are ingenious in our ideas, confident in our expertise, persistent in our pursuits, and responsible in our actions. So there are many opportunities for people who are interested in doing core engineering work. We work with a lot of product companies, we work with a lot of big ISVs, we work with a lot of big healthcare companies, we work with a lot of big banks and the larger financial engineering companies. So there are a variety of opportunities which exist here, which will offer you cutting-edge learning, cutting-edge work, which will basically outshine you in terms of your talent and talent readiness for future skills, as well as the world-class experience. So anyone who is interested in taking up a challenging opportunity should visit persistent.com, should visit our career section. We are a listed company, so there is a lot of information which is available out there.
Well, with that, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you, Gitanjali. Thank you for having me.
So this was the amazing story of Persistent Systems. We'll be back soon with another fascinating organization in India's finest workplaces. Thank you for watching.